Welcome to today's Wednesday webinar. It is December 6th. I'm going to just mute you. It's December 6th, the first Wednesday of the month, and so we're talking about general topics, and today's general topic is an introduction to World Thinking Day and the Global Action Award. And it's really some exciting stuff. Tammy Fisher and I have made a series of recordings on these two topics that are kind of one topic, but kind of two topics. And all of those will be posted on the GSME Volunteer Swap and on the YouTube channel, the GSME YouTube channel, for you to access and to share with your parents or share with your service units for some ideas on how your girls can earn the World Thinking Day Award and the Global Action Award, and more importantly, how they can have those experiences that are just really rich and beautiful, and a recognition of the huge sisterhood that we are all a part of, because it's really looking at the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts and getting that big picture of our impact in the world. And that is this year's theme for World Thinking Day. It is impact. So I thought what we would do is just go into a little bit of what World Thinking Day is, and look at some of the resources and what global action is. Keep it pretty high because the other 5 webinars go into a lot more detail, including one of the webinars that talks about how to put on an event, a World Thinking Day event. And of course, you would still do the CEO planning workshop with your girls if they were going to host this, but it gives you some ideas of content to include in a World Thinking Day event or a combination World Thinking Day and Global Action event. So we're taking a high look right now, but you can get a lot more in-depth if you go in and look at those other 5 videos. And again, I'll have all of the links to those posted on the GSME Volunteer Swap. So welcome. What is World Thinking Day? And oh, but I didn't put my animation on, my picture of JLo with the Baden-Powells. But World Thinking Day, let's see if my thing comes up. This is the picture logo of World Thinking Day. World Thinking Day is organized by the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, which is our parent organization over GSUSA, which is over GSME. So Tammy put it really well in another one of the recordings, that just like the Maine is one of the states of the United States, so the United States flag goes above the state of Maine flag. GSUSA is one of the organizations of the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. So that's why we wear our WAGS pin above our GSUSA membership pin on our tabs. And I don't know if everybody knows that. I know I see it wrong often and try to mind my manners and not correct people in public, but the WAGS pin does go high and the GSUSA pin goes below it. So it all started with Lord and Lady Baden-Powell. I got to go to this wonderful event, gosh, more than 10 years ago now, that was called Stars Over Savannah, and the central piece of the event was this multimedia show put on by Gene Clough, who was an instructor at Bates College. And in his planetarium, he proposed, what did the stars look like over Savannah when Juliet Lowe called her cousin and said, I've got something for the girls of Savannah. So he said, I can figure that out. And so he put his little technological knowledge to work and figured out what the stars in the sky looked like over Savannah, Georgia that night, March 12th, 1912. Crazy. But then he couldn't stop there. He went, well, wait a minute, where did this idea come from? It came from Juliet Lowe's working with the Baden-Powells in England when she was going through a messy divorce. And they had started this movement because Lord Baden-Powell had fought in the Boer Wars in South Africa. And when he came back, he was regaling his friends with the stories, his stories of the Boer Wars, and more really just his survival in the wilderness during this time. And the people that heard the stories were like, teach us how to do that. Teach my kids how to do that. And so he started the Boy Scouts in England, and his wife started the Girl Guides in England. And Juliet Lowe, their teeny little peanut of a friend, look at how tiny she is compared to them. she came over and they said, hey, come work with us and learn about what we're doing. And she did, and she loved it, and she brought it back to the United States. And the rest is our 100 and almost 6 years of history, which is really cool. So in commemoration of these folks, and they're starting the Scout movement, we celebrate World Thinking Day, as do 150 countries around the world. It's awesome to think there are Girl Guides and Girl Scouts from 150 countries who are part of WAGs and who participate in it. So cool, cool stuff. And some service units, let's keep going there. My animations are just all off. So pretend you don't see that. Here we go. Some service units put on a World Thinking Day event. All my animations are off. And they have girls come in, and maybe each troop has studied a country, and maybe they have passports and they go from country to country. And that's always really fun because the troop will really dive deep into it. Or maybe the service unit doesn't do it, and so you just do it as a troop. Either way, you can find those 5 activities on the GSUSA website. Nothing is working for me. It's just awesome. It did open. It's just on my other screen. Hold on a sec. La, 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 la. There it is. Make it nice and big. This is the girlscouts.org, the GSUSA website, and you can come right down here. If you've got daisies through juniors, you click here to get their requirements. And there are 5 activities, but they only have to do one of them to earn the award, the World Thinking Day Award, which is an award they wear on the front of their vest. It's not just a patch that goes on the back. And then, get small again. Thank you. So that's something that you can do as a troop. You can do it as a service unit. Or this year, Miss Tammy is actually working with a group of teen Girl Scouts who are planning a statewide World Thinking Day event. And I know we have a couple of older girl leaders in the room. Tammy, you want to tell us about it? Tammy, are you there? There you are. We'll just have a lot of quiet time. It'll be awesome.
The statewide event?
Yes, please tell us about the statewide event.
So the statewide event, we're meeting on February 21st, and we're staying February 21st, 22nd, and we'll go home on the 23rd up in Brooks, Maine. It's right off of 95, and it's about in the middle of the state, and it's for cadets, seniors, and ambassadors. And the girls will be earning their World Thinking Day badge, their Global Action Award, Day Challenge badge. Actually, it's the World Thinking Day Award, Global Action Award, and World Thinking Day Challenge badge from WAGs. So we have a lot of things planned. It's going to be a great activity, you know, for the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Overnight, lots of things to do.
And the girls can attend this alone. They don't need to, like if you're thinking, oh, I can't go to that because it's in the middle of the week, you don't have to go as the troop leader or as a parent. The girls can go on their own because they're, you know, our safety activity checkpoint numbers for girls in their teens is very, very reasonable. So we'll have plenty of adults there. And I think it's going to be a really exciting thing. I pulled up this map so you could see that Brooks is near Waldo and Knox. And I don't know anything about Thorndike and Swanville, although I'm sure they're lovely places, but it's thereabouts. So to give you a sense of where it lies in the state, and a 2-day event where the girls get to do all 3 of these awards and really invest in what World Thinking Day means. One of the things Tammy was talking about earlier was calling into the our chalet, which is one of the world centers. You want to talk a little bit about that, Tammy? Maybe she disappeared. the mic just went closed. Well, calling into one of the World Centers and talking to folks who are there about what's going on, what it's like to work at the World Center, how people can work at the World Centers. We've actually had a number of our alumni who have gone and volunteered for 6 months at either the Pax Lodge or our chalet, and just had a wonderful experience with that. So this is what the award looks like. And again, this would happen on the front of their vest. Every single year, there's a different World Thinking Day award, and it is, again, one that they'd wear on the front of their vest. The patch, which is different, the patch is often given out at service unit events if they don't do any of the required activities. The patch is worn on the back, but the badge is worn on the front, or the award is worn on the front. So by the time a girl is an ambassador, she could end up with 13 of these World Thinking Day awards if her troop did at least one World Thinking Day activity every year. And you know, how cool is that? How does that change a kid's perspective on the world when she has a sense that there are girls just like her in Madagascar and in Lebanon and in England and in Japan who are doing things similar to what she's doing, and who are also making an impact, trying to make the world a better place. So that's a very cool thing. Anything else that you've got about World Thinking Day, Miss Tammy?
It's a great time to honors, and what WAGS means also.
Right. Right, really thinking about, so the WAGS pin, the pin, I'm just going to pull over another picture that I happen to have right here. This pin, and we'll look at it a little bit when we look at the global action awareness. Remember that this is the compass, and these are the 2 stars, and this is the flame, and these are the leaves of the trefoil. And there's a whole story that goes with what each of those represents, and coincidentally, the World Thinking Day Challenge badge breaks down those 4 parts of the WAGS insignia and provides more activities that the girls could do. So with earning just this World Thinking Day badge award, they do one activity, but then, let's see if I still have it open. But then if they want to do more, and maybe you want to stretch this experience out for them over some time, then you could pull up the challenge badge. And the challenge badge looks like this, also worn on the front of the vest. And let's see, is that gonna, I think this will take me to it. No, I'll download it again, it's fine. And so this 42-page document, oh look, there it is again. I think that one, it's already 2 by 2. This has a bunch of different activities aimed at each of the different parts. So there's the flame, there are the 2 stars, the compass, and the trefoil leaves, with one activity in each part of it that the girls do to earn the challenge badge. And the girls who go to the statewide Older Girl World Thinking Day are going to earn this in addition to the World Thinking Day Award and the Global Action Award. But for a troop, you're not going to crank this out in one troop meeting. It's something that you would spread over a few meetings, which is kind of beautiful too, because then you can come back to it, right? You can refer back to it and help the girls really remember what they've done. Or if your service unit event is doing just the World Thinking Day Award or just the Global Action Award, then you could point the troops to this activity packet for them to follow up with your World Thinking Day event with some of these activities, so that the girls have that continued experience with the topics, and they're able to really explore it and think about it and make it their own. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Miss Tammy? Our audio.
No, I think we're all set there.
Oh, good. If you think of anything, do just jump in. I don't want to just talk over, but I know that the audio has been a little slow. Don't Stop Me Now. I suddenly had a Freddie Mercury moment with the Don't Stop Me Now right there. So what is the Global Action Award? And I use this fine graphic instead of typing in text because I was quickly whipping up this this slideshow for this after Tammy and I had worked on the others. The Global Action Award is awesome, and I really knew nothing about it, or very little about it. I knew that it existed, but other than that, I didn't really know much about it until this morning with Tammy's talking about it. So I want to take you there so you can see what it's all about. Let's see if I've got it pulled up. I don't, but we'll go here to the GSUSA website and put in Global Action. Oh, we don't even have to. You can click right there. So the GSUSA website, Global Action Award. And just like the World Thinking Day Award, if you scroll down, they have the PDFs for each of the levels, so you can see the activities associated with it. And you can see how they're tied to, those are the 5 activities, they're tied to these 17 Sustainable Development Goals that were identified by the United Nations. And these are goals for the year 2030 that were identified, I believe, in 2015, right? And these, these activities allow girls to explore those goals, explore the goals that sound interesting to them, and to do something, to make an impact toward one or more of those goals. So again, they give 5 recommended activities, and your girls just need to do one of those activities to earn the award. Again, it's an award that's worn on the front of the vest or sash. And, you know, awesome ideas, like picking one of them and having the girls draw a picture around what it means to them. You know, what does it mean for everybody to have a quality education? What does it mean for everybody to have good health and well-being, or to not be hungry? Because those are the goals. You know, if we're going to zero out hunger, what would that look like? If we're going to have gender equality, what would that look like? Now, different topics are going to be more pertinent to different age girls, right? Like Daisy's might not have a sense of gender equality because when you're 5, and it's all pretty much the same. But they would understand hunger or being healthy or education or poverty. You know, they understand when they don't have any money in their piggy bank that they can do anything with. And they understand when they are hungry if they have to miss a meal or something. Or maybe they have a fondness for fish because of the Dory movie that recently came out. And so they'd be all about life below the water and exploring that. But then you've got older girls. If you've got teen girls, they might be all about figuring out gender inequality or reducing inequalities in general. Or there's one about money, decent work and economic growth. If you've got seniors and ambassadors and they're trying to find a job that pays them well enough for them to save up some money for college, then that might be really pertinent to them. But with the girls get the opportunity to identify the goals that sing to them, and then each of these activities can lend itself to any of those goals. So your troop might do all one activity, but the girls would have different goals that they were interested in, or maybe your troop decides as a group to do a particular goal and to focus on that. Lots of ways you can set it up, and lots of ways that this could be included in a service unit World Thinking Day event. If you are a service unit member or an older girl leader and you're thinking, oh, it'd be fun to put on an event like that, it absolutely would. They are the most awesome events, I think. But including an activity from both the World Thinking Day Award and from the Global Action Award gives girls 2 awards out of that event that they could earn, in addition to doing their countries and passports and all of that. So lots of neat stuff with that. Tammy, there was something else with the Global Action. Oh, it was the UNICEF stuff. Let me find that page.
The lesson plan, the world lesson.
Right. I'm going to look at my history and see if I can find it. Oh, I have so many things. Maybe the global goals. And when you go to that, like I just went to the globalgoals.org, and it's terrific, but make sure that you don't just crack it right open in front of your troop for the first time, because that video is a beautiful video, but it touches on some topics that might not be appropriate for younger girls to think about quite yet. Even if the things are happening to younger girls in other countries, they're kind of huge concepts. So any videos, and there are a whole bunch of videos included in these packets on World Thinking Day and Global Action. Any of these videos, if you're thinking about showing them to your girls, please do watch them ahead of time and think about, with your girls in mind and your parents in mind, is this gonna fit for our troop? And I'm not about making the fear choice, but I want you to make the informed choice, so you don't find yourself explaining female genital mutilation to a 7-year-old without planning ahead. So there's that. They're important topics, but you really want to set yourself up for success. So this website and the lesson one. Can I get to the lesson one from here, Tammy? No, I guess I cannot. Okay. It was a nice thought.
To the top.
There it is. Well, this one will do it too, because this was the 4 to 8. So world's largest lesson. So this world's largest lesson website has tons of resources. So many resources for the girls for global action. Whether you do it with World Thinking Day or you do it interspersed throughout the year, however you decide to do it. And up at the top, let's make it big so you can see, they give a resource library, and my favorite thing is they've sussed it out for ages. So if you have daisies and brownies, you'd click on the 4 to 8 one and get the resources for 4 to 8 year olds. So you don't have to worry that you're going to be surprised with a video that you weren't planning on. And then they have the 8 to 14, so juniors and cadets. And the juniors and cadets level has so many resources. Oh my goodness. Whoever was building this really recognized the power that is in those girls between the ages of 8 and 14. I mean, they're just itching to do good stuff in the world. And there are so many resources here to make that happen and to empower them to make that happen. So lots of PDFs that you can download and print with ideas that you can do with the troop. Don't be put off. Some people see lesson plan and they're like, oh no, it'll be like school. Lesson plan is just a term to describe the activities that that they have put together for this. And so you're going to go through it. You're going to read it ahead of time, maybe bring in a couple of the girls to help you plan. And it's going to be like fun Girl Scout stuff as you get very interactive and very collaborative in these girl-led activities. And if you have the over 14 crowd, then of course there are over 14 resources as well. So lots of really, really beautiful stuff. And you might want to share it in your service unit. You might want to share it with the teachers at your kid's school, because this is UN and UNICEF and UNESCO working together to provide us opportunities to make the world a better place. What else should people know about Global Action, Tammy? You are the Global Action volunteer for Girl Scouts of Maine. So what should they know?
I think the first thing that they really should think about is watching that video, the one with the astronaut, so that it kind of explains that what the global goals are. It's the World Lesson Plan, the first video.
This one right here, the world's
largest. It's the first lesson and the second lesson.
Gotcha. So these two, even though they say 2016.
Yes.
Okay. And to get there, I just went to world's largest lesson.globalgoals.org, introduce the global goals, and that gives a nice introduction. Aren't those fun glasses? So,
but this introduces the goals to everybody, and what's nice is you can actually play these videos in very simple terms. It introduces the goals to girls of all ages.
Nice.
Both these videos.
Yeah. Well, and they've done a nice job too. Like you've got the Heroes for Change comic. If you've got girls who are really into graphic novels, they might be all about reading this. Or the Global Goals Bingo, which talks about making a teaspoon of change and, identifying where their teaspoon of change has gone or is about to go. And some of the activities that are set up for the Global Action Award, I think it was with the Stones. Was that a Global Action Award one, Tammy?
The Stone one was an impact. That's a World Thinking Day.
Oh, so in World Thinking
Day,
one of the activities at the Daisy Brownie Jr. level is each little girl has a rock and the troop has a bowl of water. And as each girl drops her little rock in, they look at the ripple effects, but they can also look at how it offsets the total, how it offsets the surface of the water, raises it. The more people who get involved, the more we lift up the good stuff and the more we're raising it and making the world better. So that goes with the teaspoon idea. What teaspoons are you bringing to the table? There's lots of really neat stuff.
Dawn, if you go back to the goal.
Go back to the what?
Can you go back to introduce the goals? And let's go to introduce the goals and go back to the 4 to 8 year old lesson plans.
Yes. Okay. Oh, and there's that world's largest weapon. This is the space one too.
And if you'll notice, right, and this little hippo, he actually does a great job for the daisies and brownies of introducing each goal. Like he does one on climate change. He does one on every single goal.
Oh, that's
and it's easy. They're short, simple.
Is this a video? This one?
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead and click on it real quick.
Oh, I see. Look at they're in episodes. How exciting! So save the climate. We're not probably going to watch the whole thing.
Save the climate. The global goals for sustainable development. Episode 1. Zero hunger, clean water and sanitation. Sustainable cities and communities. Responsible consumption and production. Climate action. Life on land. Here we go.
How cute is this?
Pete, in this heat, I just want a nap. That typing is keeping me up. Would you please just fly away? Bob, I'm online, and I've discovered that this heat is too much. I'm feeling like a fried chicken. Suzanne, this heat really could cook us. It's called global warming. Simon, wake up. Do you see our mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro? Pete, I'm napping. Yes, we're napping. Wake up. Global warming is why it's getting so hot. It's even melting the snow on our mountain. Check this out.
So cute. Okay, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but that is very cute and very accessible for the girls, right? We are at about a half an hour, so I don't want to keep you all, but
yeah, there's.
Go ahead.
And there's. Right.
So we've made 5.
Short, they're interesting, and what I like about this website is it really walks you through.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a good resource, and we're posting all of these recordings on both the GSME Volunteer Swap and on our GSME YouTube channel, and I'm going to post the slideshows on the Volunteer Swap in the files section too, so if you want to use those for notes or reference, you can do that. And let's see some awesome World Thinking Day Award and Global Action Awards stuff happening in the state of Maine. And please take pictures of your girls doing this stuff and post it on the GSME Volunteer Swap so we can see the beauty of what they're doing. Thank you so much for joining in and for all that you do with Girl Scouts of Maine.